Hi, I'm Jeff Raleigh with Learberg, and I'm here today with Gloria Helmbrick from Custom Canine, which is a nonprofit located here in Wisconsin, and they provide service dogs and training to veterans with PTSD who are in need of these dogs. So, Gloria, can you tell us a little bit about Custom Canine and what it is that you guys do?
Custom Canines provides service dogs to a number of different disabilities. PTSD is one that we concentrate on quite a bit for our veterans and also civilians. We also train dogs for the blind, autistic dogs, and then stability dogs. Nicole Meadowcroft started Custom Canines 8 years ago, and she is legally blind herself, and she saw a need for service dogs because of her own disability. And one of the things she wanted to be able to do was give the dogs away. Dogs go anywhere from up to $30,000 to $50,000. And so that's why she started this organization, and she started it on a wing and a prayer, just volunteers and breeders who gave, donated puppies. To this date, she has placed 84 dogs, and I think we've got like 64 in training right now. So, yeah, and it's been all totally 100% volunteer. There's certain qualities we want in a dog, of course, for PTSD, because we will be teaching them things like compression therapy and posting for our PTSD soldiers. And we do customize our dogs for everyone. So if there's a specific problem a soldier has with PTSD, some soldiers have PTSD and stability problems. The dog would be trained for both things then. That's where the custom part comes in. When we're talking about soldiers in particular with PTSD, it is one of the hardest things for me to do to give a dog to a soldier. There is a bit of a stigma with PTSD. It's getting better nowadays, but our soldiers, they come back and they're dealing with this, and they just don't want people to know. I totally get that.
No, I think the stigma part's more on me than on the general public.
Right.
I mean, that's just the way I was raised.
Having a service dog, you don't have to advertise that you have PTSD.
Right.
It can be any...
You don't have to tell.
You don't have to tell anyone anything.
No.
No, as long as your dog is certified and they have the vest, it's a working dog and it's nobody's business. But that's hard to get through to people. And I think one of the things that actually Larry, who will be here tonight, I was talking to him and he said it never occurred to me that I could have a dog for my PTSD. He said, I know that blind people have them, but I never knew that a soldier could have them. And I said, yeah, absolutely, that's what they're for.
Right.
So it's getting better, but I think, we still we're taking baby steps. I think society just needs to be aware that really it's none of their business why a person has a working dog. The fact that they have it means that they're working on a problem or being assisted with a problem with a working dog, and that's the most important thing.
I mean, growing up like I did and stuff, see a lot of war movies and like Patton and all these movies, and they called it shell shock in them days and stuff like that, or cowardice. It's just something that sticks out. I mean, it's not true, but I mean, I grew up right after World War II. And I mean, everybody, you mentioned PTSD, like when you get out of Vietnam, first thing popped in your head is the guy went crazy or nuts, did something stupid. I mean, granted, it can happen nowadays with people because you never know how they're going to react. But I'm slowly getting over that concept. And I don't think people that have it deserve to be labeled like that. As opposed to it's just an after effect of war. I mean, I don't care who you are, war's ugly and dirty and not a good thing.
I want to point out that our association is built strongly on volunteers, so we really appreciate the fact that you are taking the time to teach obedience training to our dogs that are in the training school that we also provide. So if we're unable to get you a dog right away and you think you need a dog sooner than we possibly could get you one, We do have a training academy where you can get your own puppy, and then you go to training. We train your dog how to become a service dog.
I mean, she is, I mean, I don't know. I know she hasn't been taught it and stuff, but I used to wake up, and I got a king-size bed, and that whole bed would be soaking wet because I sweat so bad and wake up with nightmares. And it hadn't happened since I had the dog. And she's woke me up at nighttime a couple of different times. And I mean, if I don't get up, she makes sure I do.
When you're starting a night terror?
Yeah, when I start to sweat and stuff, or have a reaction to PTSD, dreaming or whatever. And then she's woke me up.
It was something to put their time into where they're not focused on the PTSD itself. The dogs help them maneuver environments where they're less likely to be upset in certain situations because their dog is there and they know their dog will be able to sense danger or things that maybe they're uncomfortable with.
Yeah, it's more or less that they're a companion for you. You don't really talk to them, but they're there. Right. I mean, like I say, she's woke me up a couple of times, and at first I didn't really comprehend it. What the hell is she waking me up for? I thought she had to go to the bathroom. So I get up, throw on a bathrobe, start walking out the door. She lays down, goes back to sleep. Took me a couple times to figure out what was going on.
That's really cool that happened now.
And it happened fairly quick, probably. I'd say within 2 weeks of having her was the first time she woke me up. And like I say, I don't understand it. I mean, that was one of the reasons I wanted to get the dog. Right. But to the best of my knowledge, outside of somebody talking about it, she was never taught. She wasn't trained, she just knew it on her own.
With your volunteers, what is kind of the number one thing that you guys are looking for that you need? Is it financial? Is it monetary donations, or is it volunteers donating their time, whether that be training or paperwork, or what type of stuff is your organization looking for?
Well, probably our biggest need as far as volunteer help goes would be our puppy trainers. In order to get those puppies through, we have to have a home for them. Of course, Nicole can't train 64 dogs all by herself.
Right.
I'm not a trainer, so we do need those volunteers, and it's a pretty intensive training because you have to think about this is a working dog. It has to be exposed to a lot of different things: airplanes, trains, semi-trucks, horses. I mean, things you wouldn't think about, they have to be exposed to because they have to behave when they're working. And I think that's one thing that people don't understand is when this dog is working, he's working. He puts that vest on and he's all about his human. So
it's very cool.
We've had sponsors who have sponsored different people for different things. Just like you mentioned, one of our soldiers that's coming tonight, he was sponsored by a local veterinarian. We are sponsored by bigger organizations that help vets. A sponsored dog is really a nice thing to do. It's kind of a community thing, it takes a village kind of thing.
Right.
And so it's very nice to get the sponsorships for our dogs. It just gets more dogs out there for us.
Do you guys have, I'm assuming you guys have a website or something that people can go and donate money to, if people are interested in, that would like to donate, we'll put up your guys' website on the screen below here. There'll be a link in the description too.
Yeah, absolutely. CustomCanines.org. There's a lot of different ways that you can volunteer. You can sponsor a puppy, name a puppy. You can give a lasting gift every year. There's just so many different ways that you can volunteer or donate money. And volunteering time, our headquarters is in Madison right now, and we're always looking for puppy raisers and volunteers in the Madison area. So if you're interested in that, we definitely can use your help.